Alright, so today we got the reveal of the Rising of the Shield Hero collab, and with it we got gameplay, PvP gameplay of the 3 new characters. And then the other character was also shown. We're going to be talking about her as well. But the 3 PvP units. When it comes to it, these 3 characters are essentially PvP only. I could see Naofumi being pretty decent in Demonic Beast. We'll see. I will most certainly try him out in the Demonic Beasts. Him and Raphtalia, which they are combo. You kind of have to run them together. And Philo is a PvP only character. But these characters look interesting. I have watched this gameplay a few times actually, because at first watch, when we saw these funny men here doing their gameplay, listen, no offense to the people that do the live stream gameplays, but they're not very good at the game, right? We've known this. We've known this. Naofumi looked really terrible. Like, really terrible. And watching him more, I noticed some mistakes that made Naofumi look worse than he probably actually is. But in general, this banner is releasing a terrible time because November and December are going to be getting the biggest festivals of the year. So be careful. Only honestly be hyped to summon on this banner if either you have been saving a lot or you don't have a PvP team right now that's working. I would say that's important. Or you already have Merlin and you want Philo. I think those are the only 3 options because as is, okay, let's watch. Philo is the answer to Merlin. Merlin, I feel like, was a little bit underwhelming. Wales could still run her because of 6-6, still good. But I think with Philo, if you can go first, which I don't know how much CC she has, it's like guaranteed, I think, to kill any team in the game. Philo's looking very, very strong, and I'll be talking about what teams are going to be trying these characters out as well. So in the gameplay, they show Philo one-shotting Naofumi. Now, I actually don't think this will happen if you run Naofumi properly. But as you can see, boom. This should be a one-shot on Estarossa. I cannot imagine Estarossa tanking this because Estarossa has Chandler, actually. Chandler is... Actually, I don't know. I was going to say, I think she's going to be one-shotting Estarossas with no problem. Now I don't know. Rimuru almost one-shots Estarossa in a team like this. Akina, Merlin plus Rimuru, he almost gets him. And then the next turn you kind of like kill him, or maybe the Estarossa does something about it, but I think she could one-shot him because she's incredibly hard hitter. She is the character you're probably going to be running, and this is the team I'm going to be running with Philo the moment that the collab releases. Pretend Hawk is Philo. Merlin, Akina, Galfar. Very simple. Very, very simple. Green Sauriel link because we want as many debuffs as possible. We want to make sure that we have 5 debuffs. In the gameplay, they're using Galfar, and that does actually make sure that we have 5 debuffs on the enemy. If you don't know, it's because with her passive, if the enemy has 5 or more debuffs, it increases damage from single targets by 60%. You want that. So you want to make sure that they do have 5 debuffs, which can be achieved because Akina with Green Sauriel is going to be proccing 3 debuffs. Her own card debuff, Green Sauriel debuff, and Merlin debuff, and then Merlin herself is going to be applying 2 debuffs with her passive and her debuff card. Then Philo is going to be one-shotting some blue characters, and he dies and resurrects because his passive or his relic is that he resurrects. Now the player here is running him with Goddess Liz. I don't think players are actually going to be running this guy with Goddess Liz. The reason for that is because Goddess Liz kind of sucks. She has terrible stats, and I don't think it's really the answer. I think, pretend this is Naofumi and this is Raphtalia. This might be the comp I'm going to be using at first, and if not, I'll probably remove Chandler for a different blue unit. You want to run mono blue. This is, I guess, the way they want to do things now. These mono color teams, I don't know why. Lilia sounds like a really good option because Raphtalia is actually buffing HP. You're going to be missing the HP from like Zeldris because you do want to max the defense as much as possible, but it is what it is. Margaret's looking like a decent option because the cleanse. Tarmiel, of course, because it's Tarmiel and he does also scale full defense. If you don't know, if you didn't watch the patch notes and where I explained the characters, Naofumi and Raphtalia scale off of defense. So their defense stat is going to be really high, which doesn't really mean much because defense is useless in this game. Buffing your defense or maxing out your defense as much as possible almost means nothing. The interesting thing is, though, Raphtalia is buffing allies' HP based on her defense because that makes up for the HP you're not getting by using HP defense. So if she's buffing allies' HP by like 66 to 69,000 at like a really good Raphtalia with like 22,000 to 23,000 defense, then you're making up for the HP loss that you have with triple defense. Now the interesting thing for me is this. So she has the same multipliers for the Flood card as a unit that has attack-based scaling. Let's see, Escanor here, right? He has Flood. Escanor goes up to 500%. The difference is defense characters are not created equally because defense goes much higher than attack. So I'm expecting this character to be very hard, except that she has terrible attack stats, or sorry, yeah, attack-related stats, because she will scale off of crit. Just like Reinhardt, I am going to assume, because if I go here, right? So let's go in the stage here so we can actually see. I was actually getting some defense food. Tarmiel. So my Tarmiel goes up to 23,000. Let's go full defense. Same thing. Let's I'll rock this, might as well. Basically 23,000. This Gallon should be fully optimized. Yeah, triple defense. I'm going to assume Raphtalia is about the same. Now think about a character that you have that has 23,000 attack. Now think about using attack food. Well, defense food goes for 28% defense. So in fact, you actually have 26,000 defense. Now a character with 26,000 attack should be hitting very hard. The only problem is, again, we don't know her attack related stats. Pierce, crit chance, crit damage will matter. If she has good stats, which I hope she does, that means she'll be an incredibly good damage dealer for PvP and potentially PvE, like I said with Demonic Beast, right? This Raphtalia is looking decent. She is meant to be paired up with Naofumi, right? So Naofumi, if you watched the gameplay already, then you're like, oh, I already know what happens. Naofumi got one-shotted and then we lost. Here's the thing. So if you watch the gameplay back, in this first match, boom, one-shotted, first revive gone. They're using Godless, they have 2 revives. Naofumi himself has 1 revive. Here's the thing. Naofumi has absurd lifesteal. Insane lifesteal. Crazy lifesteal. And every single time he attacks, it increases damage, right? So he puts up the shield. He puts up the taunt that increases his defense-related stats. And then go on. Boom. He goes on, attacks. This is the second gameplay, not the first one. Fully heals, 120,000. He came from the revive with about half of his health. That's his revive, basically. It's about half of his health. 120,000. And now he's at full health, right? And after he puts on this stance, he is a defensive god. He cannot be touched. The crazy thing is, this is going to be working really well, I feel like, against Reinhardts that don't actually ult rush first turn. I think this is going to be a really good team to face off Reinhardts and Astarosas as well, because also Astarosa, if you played against him, you know that he does not attack once, a thing like this happens. You just go in and you move cards, right? But this debuff prevents you from getting ultimate gauge unless it's from an attack, similar to like Dariari's passive, Green Dariari's passive. So they're going to have to attack him. If Red Tarmiel Link, I think they're going to be more scared of attacking you. Only problem is that he can still be encroached. I think it's not like this team or this team is going to be the best thing ever, but I think they're going to be very competitive teams. The mono blue team is still probably going to be very decent. So we can see now, Naofumi is taking like no damage. He takes the single target again, boom, only 65,000. After he puts in his shield, level 1 shield, by the way. It's not like he's like a level 3 shield or anything. The difference in tanking is insane. And now he's got attacked 5 times. The damage he dishes back is absurd. And that's basically what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that this is going to be a very good team that might need some more characters. I think for this, we need a better blue unit that will actually help out Naofumi, which we might eventually get, but we'll see. Raphtalia. Okay, so here's the thing about Raphtalia. I just said, right, she is going to have very high defense stats, so she's probably going to be hitting very hard. But look at this. Right, 150k type disadvantage, right? That's decent. That's the Flood card. I think, though, so he did, how much was that? I was looking at this screen. I don't know why they have 2 screens, to be honest. They should just swap screens when the players are... This is like... I don't know. JP is funny. This wasn't a Korean stream, unfortunately. He did 400,000 type disadvantage. Full type disadvantage, right? You see, the point that he has 5 debuffs, he's like insane, right? And he can stack one more time, I think. So, at this point, he's like immortal. Like, he is so strong, and he cannot be affected by the debuffs from Merlin when he has the shield. The shield is the big thing. That taunt is crazy for him. This Sever card, though, is really, really sus. So in a gameplay here, the first gameplay, right, I was watching it and I was very confused because in the first turn, so here's why the Naofumi team actually lost the first match, right? This is the second turn. Naofumi died. So same thing, Naofumi got one-shotted, and then he restarted with like half his health, right? Instead of attacking with Naofumi, he double attacked with Raphtalia. Yeah, very smart. And Raphtalia, this is her Flood card. Should have attacked with the other card first, but okay. And then this is her triple crit chance card. You will see misses every single crit with the triple crit chance card, and I checked. Festival Gaffer, they don't show us stats on the JP stream, which is embarrassing. Stats are so important. Festival Gaffer has 91% crit resistance. 91.5. That means that Raphtalia has less than 65% crit chance. It's dumb. Crit... Let's look at Reinhardt. I think Reinhardt is an interesting comparison because what I'm seeing here is Raphtalia scales with defense, but clearly he gave him attack substats on the defense gears. Are they trying to make the units look bad? Like, legitimately, it's insane. Where's my Reinhardt? This is how you build Reinhardt, right? Reinhardt, oh, never mind. This is for a different video. He needs crit chance substats. I know he has triple crit chance, but he needs crit chance substats because at the point where he has 98.4 crit chance, there ain't a goddamn unit he's missing crits, right? There ain't a goddamn unit he's missing crits on. This is how you should build your Raphtalia if you pull her. Build her with crit chance and crit damage. Do not build her with attack rolls because she does not scale off of attack. It's the same issue people made with Ban. And it's embarrassing that they clearly did this for this showcase. Just looking at the showcase more and more, I'm assuming... Let me actually check their stats. Yeah, 15.2 thousand attack? Why do you want her to do damage with attack? She doesn't scale with attack. Like, well, how much does my Reinhardt look like? Do I have Reinhardt here? No, but yeah, 11.6. You know why? He has no goddamn attack substats. Why would he? So, sorry, I had to say this because it's embarrassing. This is the gameplay showcase, and they're making these characters look worse. Anyways, I think, personally, all 3 of these characters are going to be looking very good when they actually release in-game. And these 2 characters got shafted by the showcase. Similar to Lolly Merlin. Lolly Merlin, shafted by the showcase. When they actually came out in-game, very strong character. So we'll see. I'm very excited to try these characters, and Philo, she's going to be good. I already know, she's going to be good. She is looking to be very, very strong. Now, the other character, the free one, I am also very disappointed. So, they show the raid, not raid, like this new activity, right? And this is the free character, the black-haired girl. If you don't know what she does, when she attacks, she ranks herself up. Right, so, oh, damn it, I was on the money here. She attacks here, right? Boom. And she ranks herself up. Now, the cards that she have are, let's go back down here. She has Pierce AoE and the same card as Red Arthur. This passive only essentially works in activities like this, where it's like not a raid, not like a beast or anything. Like this is like these activities like this, you know the type, like these bosses. Free stage and raids. Does not work on demonic beasts and does not work on PvP. I don't know what the point of this character is, because Pierce AoE is kind of pointless for OG Demon, which is probably where they want you to use her. She has a Red Arthur card, and she looks like a free-to-play version of Summer Merlin. Oh, no, sorry, not Summer Merlin, Summer DN. That's what she's looking like to me. She ranks herself up, then she gives allies the blue card, and her relic is that when she ranks herself up, she increases all allies' attack-related stats by 30%. This would be great for a free-to-play option of Tonar on dogs if you didn't pull for her, but she does not work on Demonic Beast. So, yeah, she buffs all allies by attack-related stats. I mean, this is still good for now for me and Raccoon Girl for bosses like this activity, I guess, but kind of irrelevant, right? They can still crit more, I guess. But very strange. Now, what I'm thinking is, I already made a team for her as well. On raids, if you pretend this is her, and if you don't have Summer DN, I guess you run this. And you can give your allies the blue card. The Pierce AoE is very strange. Very, very strange. You're clearly meant to use her on activities that only have one unit. Or one boss, sorry. I guess they tried to make her bad. I don't know. Her ult is kind of weird as well. For a character that, again, is made to only face single target enemies. Just a very strange unit all around. I don't like this character one bit, because when it comes to free-to-play characters that we got from other collabs, the last collab we got Rem and Ram, which were both very good, especially for free-to-play. Like Rem, the red one, is really good for Demonic Beasts, and she can be a very solid option for DPS on OG Demon as well, which I guess is like a free-to-play version of Summer DN, so I guess it's kind of the same, but it's very strange. And then Ram, of course, the green one, all around great unit to have for unknown team, right? But these three characters looking good. I'm very excited to see them. And if you were thinking that they looked bad because of the gameplay, I'm telling you, I'm gonna make them look good. So, what kind of player should be summoning for this? Again, I think if you don't have a good PvP team right now, these two together will make a decent team. And if you already have Merlin, Philo's good. If you already are playing with Estarossa or playing with Reinhardt as your main PvP team, none of these characters will improve your account whatsoever. This will not blend well with any of the characters that you already have built, and you should not be summoning on this banner, personally, but we'll see. That's about it. Let me know what you think of the new characters, and yeah.